Here we go, chat. I updated the epic Kodo mount. Dude, they should just hire this guy and take all the models he did. He's done the horsey, the crusade horse, which looks really nice. It's like an HD version. He did the tiger. Tiger was fantastic. Tiger looks badass, right? Oh shit. And then he's using the Kodo one now.
This must be one of my most popular requests since I started my channel. Well, today's the day, my friends. I finished what Blizzard started and updated the epic Kodo mount. Since the slow versions did get a fix up, I went ahead and used those as a base, similar to how I approached the Nightsabers. In an attempt to be efficient, I modeled one of the armor plates first and used this as a base for the rest of them. I count myself fortunate for the fact that Blizzard were forced to reuse a tiny patch of texture for almost the entire armor, because this meant that it was made with a lot of copy pasting of the same basic design. After all, this was 2004. Trek 2 was conquering the West was conquering
Trek 2 was
Iraq,
amazing.
UK had just outlawed fox hunting, and games had to be developed to essentially be able to run on a TI-84.
You can do fox
Things
hunting?
been different. I might have needed to model all these armor pieces uniquely, which would have taken me a ton of time. Time I would rather invest into parts of the model that present the bigger challenge. Excited to portray my faction, I'll work my way through the armor plates. Unlike the original, I'm using separate plates for all the armor, rather than meshed together ones. This always brings the risk of clipping issues
Does
with
this
it,
guy
but try
ever
my
tell,
best to
like-
keep that in mind and space them out a bit at the edges. You
How long it
inevitably
took
run into
total?
some issues, but it's often a matter of just making it work when you rig it, so I wasn't too worried. For every remake, I commit the sin of the modern day artist, and look for ways in which I can improve classic art made by somebody far superior to me. Well, one of the crimes I committed was bastardizing the leg armor. The original is wearing these fun little slippers. I made it into something more battle ready.
Reminds me of
less fun
Anboni
little
size.
slipper.
It is true.
Yeah,
true.
the armor wasn't the challenging part of this model. The challenging part of this model? Well, we'll get to that when the time comes. But so far, it was pretty smooth sailing for me and my Kodo friend. Minor oddity, the horns of the epic version are completely different in design to literally every other Kodo in the game. I would love to be able
Actually, the Kodo models that we have right now, they got revamped and they look kind of nice.
my Kodo friend. Minor oddity, the horns of the epic version are completely
That
different
doesn't look too bad,
in
actually.
design to literally every other Kodo in the
These ones, these are like remodeled
game.
for sure.
I would love to be able to tell you why this is. It's one of those things in WoW art that you just have to accept. I remodeled the horns and unwrapped the texture of the new horn
I'm
onto the
so
texture of the
for
previous
you.
horn and managed to make it work perfectly.
Hey.
Which was nice. Just fuck painting the horns myself. The wind in my back and confidence in my brain, it was time for the head. It was by far the most intricate part of the whole thing, and in contrast to the rest of the model, I couldn't use any
What's your quick review for Dragonflight? Good or bad? I'm gonna say I have like mixed feelings about it. You see, I think Blizzard's definitely doing a lot better listening to the community than before. I know it still sucks sometimes, but they're trying. They're actually trying better, right? And I'm sure they have a lot on their plate right now. There are a lot of bugs that we pointed out which haven't got fixed, kind of like this and Radiant Decree and other stuff from other classes that I can probably name a lot. But with them listening to the feedback pretty well, I think the game can be molded better than before. However, I'm hearing from Preach's video that they're already working on a new expansion. And that kind of disappoints me because I want them to put work in the expansion we're getting right now, right? There's still a lot of mistakes. Hey, yo, you skipped with the 7 complaint. Okay. But do you know what I'm getting at? I feel like it looked like they're going to do a good job, but they're working on a new expansion already, which is odd to me. That's been the case forever, though. Right. That's why we always had this cycle. And I thought they would end this cycle. You know, BFA, the end season, one of the longest months with no patch. It was kind of miserable because they just abandoned BFA to work on Shadowland. And the end seasons are always abandoned. I don't know. I feel like after the scandal and the COVID, they didn't have a lot of time to work on Dragonflight. It felt like it got rushed. I do see a lot of positive things and them speaking about the game and understanding the community from all the interviews I watched. But if they're working on another game like this, I'm a little scared. You know what I mean? I'm literally gonna ban this chatter who asked. Yeah, anyways, I think the first 2 months gonna be really fun. We'll see from there. I have high hopes. I'm gonna look at the game in a positive way. End of discussion. Let's continue watching this amazing Kodo, okay?
Universally torturous, it makes you wish the Y2K bug happened. I'll learn a new program. As some of you know, I embarrassed myself for the past few months by painting my textures in Substance
Shall
Painter.
we?
Substance Painter is a great program for many reasons. Hand painting is not one of them. So I switched to 3D Coat like a good boy. I dropped my 95 euros on the license, spent, not kidding, 2 hours re-importing my model to try and figure out why it keeps coming out all fucky, and embarked on my fun learning experience. The tools were, honestly, decently intuitive. It took me a while to find out I could color pick with V. The freeze tools confused me somewhat, as well as how the polygon select, but I was trucking. The real challenge here was that my entire approach to painting textures was about to change. Rather than my abortion of a workflow that I clobbered together in Substance Painter using fill layers, painting in layer masks, and zero color picking, yes, that's what I did, I instead adopted a workflow proper texture artists use.
You actually timed them
I knew
out.
that working in this new approach would bring a bunch of new challenges for me, but I also knew that I could potentially reach far better results with it. However, I currently have quite limited time for videos, and I couldn't exactly afford fucking it up and being left with an inadequate end result. But, however tricky a new set of tools can sometimes be, I handled it like the fashion industry does with a small child. I made it work. I laid a base of simple values for my model, after which I started blocking out the details. Something that I noticed in Blizzard's new Kodo models is that they changed the pattern of the skin quite a bit, making it less elephanty and more bumpy. This is where I usually get a bunch of comments saying, "Tom, you should remake the Kodo with the original skin pattern." I'm not remaking the whole Kodo just to change the skin pattern, guys. So far,
I think the
I
new
was
skin
surprised
pattern
how
is
well it was
fine.
actually going. I picked up the tools pretty quick, and I was already doing far better than I was in Substance Painter. Like you saw earlier, I decided to give every chain link and bolt its own space in the
every
texture.
chain
This is a crime against optimization, because if I had instead stacked them up in the same texture space, I could fit it into the texture file of the armor, and I could save myself a draw call. However, it would take about 2 minutes to revert this decision if I ever wanted to, and my current approach would allow me to draw highlights onto the links separately. The drum was a pickle. In all honesty, the drum you see me texture here was originally a quick concept version that I threw together to try out a design, which I just ended up rolling with when I was texture unwrapping the model. The design needed something more to be finished. It just didn't really look like a war drum to me. I planned on adding a metal brace to the bottom and put some rivets around the edges, and figured it would probably do a lot to help the design. For now, however, I just gave it some basic shading and groundwork.
I don't know why MS Paint reminds me of Stagger.
I painted in a rough base for my drum. I went on to the rivets, or bolts, or whatever they are. Similar story to the chains. I just textured one of them, went into Photoshop, exported my texture layout as a PNG, and copy pasted like I was developing towns in New World. My rivets all ready, I went on to continue painting some more levels of detail into the armor. I drew in some soft highlights to break up the surface of the metal a little bit. One thing to keep in mind is that this armor was forged by a Tauren. I would give him a pass if there's a minor imperfection or two in the execution of it, okay? These people have 3 fingers and their houses are made of dead animals. After all these years, I never bothered to learn much about the lore behind these creatures,
3 fingers.
So I decided it would be fitting to have a look at the wiki. Kodos are massive reptiles with hardly visible scales. Bullshit. Wild Kodos are normally herbivorous. Vegan. Wild Kodos are normally vegan, but will not attack unless threatened. In the waning years of their lives, Kodos instinctively track to the Kodo graveyard in the center of Kalimdor, where they spend their last hours. While Kodos are generally considered gentle by nature.
Oh, what? The devil lore like that? Oh, that's why they walk in like packs towards there.
Recently been known to
Is that the lore? That's
kind
of cool.
Jesus Christ. The green, great brown, great gray, thunderbluff, and great golden Kodos were considered to be alpha members of the Herds and Decilis. A Kodo can eat its own weight in grass each day, but a lot comes out the other
end. They said WoW doesn't have lore, but
I don't know who wrote this lore.
When he did the video for the Saber, he actually had very interesting lore, and the Paladin mount. Paladin mount had a whole quest line, to be fair.
But they should have written Shadowlands. I decided that rather than fixing it, I was gonna ditch my old drums and go back to the source material once more. Bit of a trend there. I hadn't really put enough thought into the way I was doing them, and it didn't really feel like they were going anywhere. Changing my direction once more, I wasn't going to make an exact copy of the originals, I was going to simply incorporate the most prominent features of the originals into what I already had, making a hybrid of sorts. Every video I do, I end up going back to the source material. It's just hard to argue with it. And with my drum
People say
remake,
Ayo
I
when I
went
talk
and laid
about
down the last
Savix.
highlights. Some bits and some bobs, the way it goes. I
What
was
do you
worried
say?
that learning new software and a new workflow would fuck with me too much, but in the end, I'm more than pleased with the result that I ended up getting. Before the reveal, I want to make a quick point though. Like many of you, I like to meme on Blizzard. It's fun, and I wish that they would change some of their priorities. I know that a lot of you share that sentiment. However, with all my memeing, I want to make one thing clear. The problem is not with the artists at Blizzard. If anything, their work has been consistently awesome through even the darkest days of the game. As an artist, you do not decide what you make. Your higher-ups do. And in Blizzard's defense, for every warglaive there are 19 variants of barrel, wooden fences, and a pile of ogre shit in Daenerys. All that stuff needs to be made. I feel like most artists at Blizzard would probably be stoked to remake an old classic like the epic Kodo mount. And trust me, they would do an infinitely better job than me. Not their call though. Saw a few people take out anger on the art team. However, if you're upset about some of Blizzard's choices and want to vent your frustration, the right place to direct your anger is
Fucking
your
good,
Twitter
Kaiser.
interns. And with that, we, my friends, approach the final hour. First, if you're liking what you're seeing, it would help me out a ton if you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and drop the like on the video. And comment. Also comment.
Oh,
These
I
videos
was
take
right
a ton of work
there.
to make, and nothing more
Yeah, I'm in the comment, chat.
like on the video. And comment.
Look at that, that's me.
Also comment.
Ogre.
These videos take a ton of work to make, and nothing motivates me more than seeing that people are excited about my content. And sorry that this video took a while. I'm in over my tits with my thesis. And with all that said, my good people, I am proud to unveil the legendary, the spicy, the ever popularly requested, new and updated, epic Kodo mount.
The music's not that epic. He's gonna change the music, right? There it is. Dude, this looks way better. This looks way better than the one they had. Holy moly. Damn. Holy. They should pay this guy and use this model. Pay this guy and use this model. That's sick. Very cool.